Previously on the Honda Civic Type R rebuild, I bought a wrecked FL5 Civic Type R. We began tearing down the broken pieces of the Civic, and our buddy Steve put it on his frame machine to get it all straightened out. He then ripped off my old rear quarter panel and put in a new one and got everything painted in championship white. After replacing the airbags, seatbelts, and some computers, we were finally able to fully reassemble the car. But after the car was all back together, we discovered that the wheels were bent. Welcome to another episode of the Civic Type R rebuild. We left things off in the last episode saying that we were going to put new wheels on the car, and that is still happening. They are on the way. Those will be put onto the car later in this episode. But for now, in the interim, while we're waiting on those to come in, we've brought the car to Automotive Aesthetic because the car is filthy, but also we need to do a paint correction to the paint that we've painted on the other side and kind of level everything out and smooth it out for some paint protection film. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. Let's get detailing.
Hey everyone, it's Mike Fear with Automotive Aesthetic. Today we've got Ben's Type R in the house, and we are attempting to decontaminate the vehicle, rejuvenate it, and then ultimately get the vehicle prepped and ready to go for PPF. We won't actually be installing it, but we want to make sure at the end of the day the paint is flat, smooth, and decontaminated and ready to go prior to PPF being installed onto the paint. One of the biggest reasons of why that we like to get vehicles prepped prior to any installation of paint protection film is ultimately to ensure that the PPF will end up mimicking the paint. And in doing so, by prepping the paint, flattening everything out, it ensures that the PPF is not only going to be flat, but it's also just going to look really nice, have a really nice gloss and shine to it, but lack of any orange peel or whatnot that might be on the paint prior.
The car was sitting on track for about 6 months after the crash, so the dirt, dust, iron that's in the air has ultimately embedded itself within the clear coat, and we have to remove that before doing paint correction and doing PPF. We're going to do an iron treatment. We're going to remove all of the embedded contamination. We'll do a really good clay bar to fully remove all of the embedded iron. I pre-treated the clear coat with the iron mover, and it is lighting up like purplish, orange, red, kind of how that chemical specifically reacts to iron particles. And that'll help loosen up a lot of it. And I didn't quite expect it to be this bad, but it's really bad. I mean, you can tell the 6 months on track. The amount of brake dust that's probably in the air around that place is insane. And it has literally just clinged to the clear coat on this. It's about ready to just be power washed off, but I'm gonna foam it up. That'll help drag a lot of the heavy stuff down to the bottom portion of the car. And it'll give it like a second round of pre-treatment before we physically touch the car.
Ultimately, people would end up paint correcting a brand new car for quite a few reasons. And I've seen brand new 2023 GT3 RSs that came right from factory that had paint nibs and ultimately still needed paint correction. Paint correction side of things would ultimately be swirls within the paint, scratches upon delivery that might have been taken place when the plastic was pulled off the car. But in this case, the car was repainted on the driver's side and I believe the driver's side rear quarter. So for us, we need to go in, check to see if there's any dirt nibs, any embedded contamination that's inside of the clear coat, get that cleared, leveled out. That's generally a 2 to sometimes even 3-step process. Most times we hit it with a microfiber cutting pad and a soft abrasion cream. Then we'll usually go over it with a secondary pad, make it all looking nice and fresh.
Okay, so the detailing is done and the paint is smooth, flat, and ready for paint protection film. Basically, any kind of imperfections in the paint have been taken out now so that the film can lay nice and flat on top, but also no dirt and anything like that is obviously gonna be under the film. So that's nice. Now that the car is looking brand new, which is kind of funny because it is brand new, we're gonna take it to get some STEK PPF put onto this car.
All right, so on this car, we're gonna be installing STEK Dyno Shield paint protection film. It's a great product. It's 8 mil thick. It's got a really nice adhesive to work with, and importantly, it's got a hydrophobic top coat called Hydrophobe that's gonna really reduce the maintenance routine needed to keep this thing clean. So in day-to-day operations, you're gonna notice overall, the car is way more resistant to actually becoming dirty, and you're really gonna make it easy to clean when it's been through inclement weather, or you go to a track day and you're getting tire marks off the car. Overall, it's going to be way easier to clean with the whole car covered in paint protection film. Any kind of little door dings or rock chips, or somebody walks by it with something sharp in their hand, you're not going to have paint damage. You might have film damage, but ultimately that can be replaced, as we do consider paint protection film a consumable. For the enthusiast driver, obviously helping to prevent rock chips. If you're behind other cars, you get tires coming off the other cars in front of you, makes it a little easier to cope with that, and just really helps the car's original paint stand up to the stuff you throw at it.
Just like that, you cannot even tell that anything was done. But the car is wrapped now, and that's kind of the point. But we left one thing for last, and that is the roof. We're not doing clear on the roof. That's right, I'm gonna cut it out and put carbon fiber in. As it turns out, $7,000 to shave 3 pounds off the top of your car is not worth it. So I'm gonna put this on it instead, and this is surprisingly convincing. Not real carbon fiber, obviously, but this is the carbon fiber paint protection film that we're gonna put on the roof. Because of the thickness of STEK film, it is a lot more convincing than your standard carbon wrap. I would not normally do something like this if it wasn't very, very realistic looking. Because there's depth, it almost has a clear coat on the carbon. They might even use 1 layer of carbon for all I know. If you told me that, I would believe you. This is gonna be a way better decision than actually cutting the roof out like we did last time. So I've come outside here to one of their customer cars that has real carbon fiber on it, just to show you the comparison between this film and the real carbon fiber, and you cannot tell that that's any different.
So about 5, 6 years ago, fashion film started to become a thing, and STEK is kind of the forefront of that. The fashion films are really above and beyond a vinyl. It's protecting, it's a thick layer, it's self-healing like paint protection film, but it may have a pattern or a color associated with it to really just, you know, provide like a pop to the vehicle, but also have it being covered. This film from STEK, the fashion film specifically, Dyno Carbon, Gloss and Matte, you know, that film we know is gonna look great for 5+ years, no problem.
Okay, so the car is done now, and it has a full PPF all over the car, including the true, genuine carbon fiber roof that we swapped on. It's certainly not a film, it is real, because it blends in really nicely with like the windows, so it's all the way front to back. And the antenna from the factory was already black, so it fits really nicely. So kind of the first like actual aesthetic mod that we've done is that. And the rest of the film, obviously, you can't even see. So that's pretty cool. The car will be protected and safe, and I never have to worry about it now, which is great because I want to drive this thing around all the time, and I want to take it to the track all the time, and now I don't have to worry about it. If you remember at the beginning of the video, we said we'd talk about the wheels. Well, I think now it's time to talk about the wheels. Well, here it is. The time has finally come. And you know I got to be a little bit extra because these wheels are a little bit extra. But here it is. So these are Advan TC4s, and I'm not traditionally an Advan guy, that's kind of Ben's domain, but I'm going out on a limb here trying something different. It's also in a different color. This is Racing Indigo Blue. It's like a really nice, deep, metallic color to it. Hopefully it looks really good on the Type R. But what's really unique about these is that they're a 5x120 lug pattern, which is really hard to find, but I found them using Fitment Industries because they have a gallery that you can look at to see all the different sizes and wheel specs and offsets and everything so you can get the right size that fits your car. And then you can just buy them right there on their website. So super great source for finding wheels, especially when they're weird lug patterns and stuff, or at least it's weird for me. I'm used to 5x114. But these are also not that heavy. They are kind of heavy. I'm used to forged wheels, and these are not forged. These weigh, I think, a little bit over a stone, about 1.38 stones. So they're not too bad, but I'm excited to see how they look on the car. But first, let's get them mounted to some Continental tires. In the last episode on the Type R, I said I was going to be using the Continental Extreme Contact Force. The Continental Extreme Contact Force. But I'm actually mixing things up a little bit. And just like a politician who's trying to win your vote, I've changed my mind. We're going with a different tire. This is the Continental Extreme Contact Sport 02. And it is kind of the king of the rain. This is like the absolute best rain tire. We bring this tire to the Grid Life events that we go to in case it rains. It's kind of the best option that you have. But it's also a much more street-friendly tire. The Extreme Forces that we were gonna run are a 200 treadwear tire, and they're fantastic for the track, but these are a 340 treadwear tire. So they'll last a little bit longer, but they're also a little bit more street-friendly. So that kind of makes more sense for a daily driver. And when we go to the track, we'll switch over to the Extreme Forces. These are also a little bit more narrow than the Extreme Forces. I'm going with a 265 width, while as the Extreme Forces are 275. So hopefully the 265 should fit in there very easily. We shouldn't have any rubbing issues, but we still have maximum grip. Let's go ahead and mount these tires. Mark, I'll be honest, I don't really like it.
Can I be honest?
No.
I think it looks great.
Man, really? You don't think it looks good?
You told me to be honest, right?
No, yeah, I don't think it looks good. I think I went on a limb with the blue, and I don't have regrets for doing that. I think you should try new stuff, you know? Like,
sure, I mean, blue and white goes together. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know, something's off with it. It's just not lining up the way it should.
It needs to be lower. That goes without saying. I mean, it's got a huge wheel gap for sure. So we'll definitely put some Fortune Auto coilovers on it. But yeah, the blue, I think by itself in the wheel looks just really good. But next to a red caliper, with the red seats, well, I can powder coat them a different color. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these wheels. But also, if I were to change the color, what color should I go with? Should I do silver? Should I do gunmetal?
What about like fuchsia or like teal? Like
I could do like just a color shift.
Yeah, like just something crazy.
Chrome.
Okay, wait.
Oh, is that too far?
That's too far. That's my thing.
Huge thanks to Continental Tire for sponsoring the whole series of stuff that we've done to the Civic in rebuilding it and getting it to where it's at right now. Also, thanks to Fitment Industries for finding these wheels that actually fit with an odd lug pattern. At least it's odd for me. I know BMWs run it and stuff, but I think the wheels fit great. We are gonna probably change the color because I don't know if I can get on board with this. It might be a little over the top for me. Also, thanks to STEK for the PPF and the carbon roof. Saved Mark a bunch of time, didn't have to do the carbon roof.
Hey, there you go.
So,
thank you, STEK.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why you haven't seen the car driving around on the road yet, well, I have a phone number you can call. It is 804-497-7100, and that is the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles. The process apparently takes a couple of months. I sent them paperwork last month, and I'm waiting on, it's the whole rebuilt salvage title process. I don't know. This is the first time I've done this before, so just be patient. I don't need to be driving the car around, but if you're wondering where the Civic Type R content is, it's with the DMV.